Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names. David Scott Kelly.
And a great Thursday afternoon to you. Hope you are staying warm out there. This is about as cold as we know. It might be obviously we were only 9 days into the new year, so it is definitely the coldest day of this new year. So bundle up, stay warm. In fact, if you're going to, we'll tell you now, if you're going to see the coach radio show tonight, Tommy Lloyd over at the Union Public House, they are going to be moving that indoors because of the weather outside. Normally, or at least the first couple that they've done outside over at the Union Public House. But this is going to be inside today. So don't worry. You're thinking, well, I'm not going to go to see Tommy Lloyd if they're going to make us sit outside in the cold, because they will not do that to you. It's going to be inside. Currently 51 degrees here in Tucson. Brr! I always tell people 51 degrees here in Tucson is like 35 degrees in other places. So glad you could be with us on this Thursday, a short show because of that Tommy Lloyd radio show we've got coming up for you at 5 o'clock. So we'll kind of race through. We've been racing through. If you've been through with us this week, we kind of race through this first hour. There's a lot of new stuff, a little bit, a few extra, at least one extra break. So things go quickly in this first hour. And we've got both of our interviews actually in the first hour. So that's going to make it a real sprint between 3 and 4 today. So if you want to get in on the program, 4 o'clock hour is going to be the best to do that at 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. College football playoff is back tonight, and the first game is on the docket, Notre Dame, Penn State. I told you a couple of weeks ago, I think Notre Dame is the team to beat in this whole thing. They've got the defense, they've got the running game. The running back, Love, I understand, is going to play tonight. Well, there were some questions about him because of injuries, but that's the team. To me, that's the team to beat. It's Notre Dame. So we've got a question of the day up on our website right now on our Twitter account at Wildcats1290. You can tell us who you think is going to win. Head on over there right now. Who do you got? You got Notre Dame? You got Penn State? I'll let you know how that's going here coming up shortly. It is very heavily one-sided at the moment in our poll. At Wildcats1290 on the Twitter. Who wins tonight, college football playoff semifinals against Notre Dame and Penn State? Arizona football has a defensive coordinator. No surprises there. Danny Gonzalez retained and elevated from linebackers coach and special teams coordinator to defensive coordinator. I said back in the fall, I like listening to Danny Gonzalez. I mean, he's a head coach. And when he gets up there at the press conference, not all assistant coaches get up there and command press conferences, I'll be honest with you. Danny Gonzalez was, in fact, one of those who indeed gets up there and commands the press conference and knows how to speak it, knows how to talk it. You can tell he's been a head coach in college football. So he's going to be the man to try to turn around Arizona's defense. Joe Salavea, the Arizona alum, is coming back. He is going to be the associate head coach and run the defensive line. Great to have Joe Salavea back in the Cardinal and Navy. One of the great defensive linemen to come out of this program.
You want to hear a tiny bit of Danny Gonzalez?
Yes, just a tiny bit.
This
That's
is
good.
from earlier. This is him talking about the word chance and potential.
Yes.
We have a chance to be good on defense, but that word chance, that means nothing. It's like the whole potential. Somebody tells you got potential, you better hope that word goes away, because that means you ain't living up to what they think you can do.
There you go. That's what I was talking about. That was from fall camp. Danny Gonzalez got up there. You can tell he knows football, knows the game. The question is now, what can he do with this defense going into next season? And we're still a long ways away from that. But I'm fine with that hire. What do you think about it? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. Do you like the elevation of Danny Gonzalez, the defensive coordinator? Last night at McHale Center, Arizona women's basketball loses in overtime to the Baylor Bears. What a game it was. It was tight early, and then Baylor kind of took the game out of the Wildcats' hands in the second quarter. I mean, not a good second quarter for Arizona. Put them in a really big hole going into the break. They scored just 13 to the Wildcats in the second quarter and found themselves down 13 at the intermission. Started whittling that away in the third quarter. Came back in the fourth quarter to force overtime. Let's hear how it sounded on KTUC in that second half.
Thought about a transition three, and said she's going to go back to ice. She's going to try one. She's got it. Bay knocks down the three, gets the lead down to 13. Rolfe bounces this to the left block, and Cunningham off the glass to score it over Bartley, and a timeout is taken by Baylor as a 17-point lead has been trimmed down to 10. Retreats, throws this one up, and it's deflected and taken away. Bay knocks it to Paris as she is already at the right block. Score it as she's fouled. Williams steps to the left, going to fire a three-point shot. That's down! 69-65. Arizona has trimmed it to a 4-point game, the closest it's been since early in the second quarter. Overhand pass. Williams one-on-one with Andrews, trying to back her down, post her up, step to the baseline, score it off the glass. It's a 2-point game. Take an initial look. Bay's wide open. She gets that one at the rim to score it. Screen set by Williams. Screen set by Jada to free her up. Rolfe found her. Timeout taken, Baylor. Rolfe is going to inbound right near the scorer's table. Trying to go over the top where Peg's got this one off the glass to score it as the buzzer sounds. Over the top of the entire defense. Isis Bay with the catch and finish. 9 seconds to shoot, 1 minute to play as she resets at midcourt. Walker goes to the left around a screen to the baseline off the glass. I don't know how she got that up and in. And she has made 4 points at the rim in just the ugliest of fashions, but they count nonetheless. The ball is inbounded, and Baylor will escape with an overtime win, 81-76.
6,000, just under 6,400 in the house last night, and the first Big 12 meeting between Baylor and Arizona goes in favor of the Bears in overtime, 81-76. Jada Walker, 16 points. She scored that last basket. They did a really nice job of finishing around the rim with those spin shots. I mean, shots like Derek said, it was kind of ugly. It's like, how did you get that to go in, man? But they knew you could tell that they practice those body against you, kind of spinning it up off the glass type of shots, because they made a number of those in that game last night. And 13 offensive rebounds. That you'll hear from Medea Barnes coming up a little bit later. That was the big difference in the game. 13 offensive rebounds. It almost reminded me, I don't know if you remember that Baylor-Arizona men's game here a few years ago when Baylor had like 21 offensive rebounds and won at McHale Center. It reminded me of that. That's how Baylor was just getting second shot after second shot. They had 13 offensive rebounds and 15 second chance points in that game last night. And they win it 81-76. Isis Bay, 18 points in 40 minutes. Isis had to play 40 minutes. The Wildcats, again, were shorthanded. Katarina Nezevich was not available. Montea Dew was not available. So they were playing. Montea plays, and both of those young ladies play a lot of the 4 position. So they were a little bit shorthanded in the post. So that was a tough part of that game. I mean, again, you look at a lot of these games that they've lost close, and they've lost close because they have not necessarily had all the pieces they would have liked to have had in those opportunities.
That sounds familiar, DK.
Yeah, it does. It
does. They got, 43 minutes off the bench in an overtime game.
Yeah.
So Paulina played 30, Ja played 11, and Skylar played 1 minute.
Yeah. It was flu for Nezovic and Dew. After the game, we found that out. And again, it's that time of year. Regardless of where you live and all that, I mean, people are getting sick. I think I heard Jim Rome say a bunch of Notre Dame players apparently are sick heading into tonight's game. So that's kind of, we're dealing with it. That time of year, flu, COVID, everything else that goes along with illnesses that
smoke
are
inhalation.
Smoke inhalation, yeah, all of that. Prayers continue to go out to all of those affected in Southern California. In fact, we're learning that the Tucson Fire Department is sending people out there to help out. We'll let you know more about that coming up in the next 24 hours as well. DK on the sports tip. Brian Jeffries is going to join us. Coach's show tonight. We'll talk to Brian. He was on the road with the Wildcats, winning 2 last week. That is straight ahead. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Here's a riddle for you. What do yoga mats, a toothbrush, and a Hyundai have in common? I'll give you a moment. Time's up. If you guessed they're all fun, well-designed, and super useful, you guessed wrong. The answer is you can order all these things on Amazon. And the best part, you won't even have to break down a car-sized Amazon box after because you'll pick up your Hyundai at the dealer. Hyundai, now available on Amazon. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Limited availability. Pick up through a participating Hyundai dealers in select markets.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles?
Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
The current federal government is actually going $1 trillion deeper in debt every 100 days. That's why thousands are turning to Goldco, a top-rated gold company, to diversify their savings with time-tested safe haven assets, physical gold and silver. Right now, not only is Goldco offering a free gold and silver kit, but on qualified purchases, they'll give you up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver. Call 855-838-GOLD. That's 855-838-GOLD. Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
It's It's the new year. Time to make a positive change in your life.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted. Not available in Washington State.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported, new crash reported, Flowing Wells and Wetmore and Flowing Wells. New collision reported. Harrison and Broadway Boulevard and Harrison, traffic signals malfunctioning. And for your weather, there is a freeze warning in effect overnight. 32 is the low. 57 sunny tomorrow. 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code radio for an extra 5% off.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can listen to this show on a number of different platforms. Our website, I should say, Wildcats Radio 1290. Download our app, Wildcats Radio 1290, the app. We've got all of your stories there. We've got all of our shows there. You can also follow just about every team in the state of Arizona that we touch, whether it's the Cardinals, whether it's the Suns, whether it's the, Arizona State Sun Devils. Yeah, we do follow them as well. So all of that is available on our app, Wildcats Radio 1290. All right, let's talk some Arizona basketball.
It's the Wildcat Hour, which means it's time for our Arizona Insiders.
Am I late? No, my boy, you're just in time.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions of U of A basketball and the Big 12. So bear down, Wildcat Nation, and let's talk Arizona basketball. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Back from the Appalachian Trail is one Brian Jeffries, the voice of the Arizona Wildcats. U of A men's basketball went on the road, got a couple of wins over ranked teams over the weekend, Cincinnati and West Virginia. And Brian, before we get to what happened on the floor, I just want to get your perspective on this first Big 12 road trip from the travel side of it, how that went, new environments, new hotels, dealing with, you obviously dealt with some winter up in Seattle and Pullman from time to time, but dealing with that aspect of it, and did everything go smoothly?
Well, it really did when it comes down to it. Weather was a problem for everybody back in the east. A bad storm, I think, as you know, went through the area back there. We got out of Cincinnati just in the nick of time on Sunday because they'd forecast the snow to start coming down about 10 in the morning, and sure enough, it started. And I think when we got to the airport, there was about a half inch or so, and then we left, and the conditions in West Virginia were much more favorable when we arrived. And then, of course, Cincinnati just got hammered the next day or so. So it was good to get out of there, and everything worked. I guess the only snag was the return trip on Tuesday night. We were scheduled to fly out, not in Morgantown, but a little town just south of there where we had landed. But that airport was closed, and so they sent our plane up to Pittsburgh, and it's a farther trek, but I'll give our bus driver a lot of credit. He got us there in plenty of time, and we got off the ground. So that was the snag travel-wise. The atmosphere, exactly what everyone had told us about, and that is the crowds were incredibly loud. They're intense. I mean, maybe every seat wasn't filled, but it felt like it just because of the noise factor that were in both arenas. And that's what the Big 12 is known for. And sure enough, at least in my mind, it didn't disappoint. And I love that. And I think the players, enjoy it to some aspect because it brings out the best of you. So, and you win both games, and that helps your, outlook on it. Had you lost one or two of those games, you might feel differently. But I think that Tommy had his guys very well prepared on the psychological side, knowing what they were going to walk into. and they responded. Even when they lost that lead at Cincinnati, they found a way to win. And then on Tuesday, I think they were really set to go on Tuesday. I could see that on Monday night that they were ready to play and played very well.
What do you, Brian? What are you kind of seeing? Maybe was the difference in those games down the stretch? Why they were able to close? Why they were able to maybe get some of those baskets and scoring opportunities at the offensive end and defend at the defensive end? I mean, I think it was Cincinnati had made 12 or 15 shots, and then they missed 4 of their last 5 because the Wildcats were able to maybe turn it up a notch defensively down the stretch there. What were some of the other things that maybe you were seeing as the reasons they were able to close those games?
Well, I think, the experience factor is a big help. And keep in mind, even though there's some new faces on this Arizona team, you've got guys like Tobe Awaka and Trey Townsend. They played a lot of basketball, and obviously Caleb Love, and now, Jaden Bradley, et cetera. These guys have now been around the block a few times. And they also experienced some tough losses earlier this year. That loss to West Virginia down to the Bahamas, the loss to UCLA up in Phoenix. Those were games they think they could have won. They had leads in both of them, and it didn't. And I think that's teaching moments. So if you use those to your advantage, you don't get yourself into a doubting frame of mind where you think you can't win. You just say, okay, we've been through this. We know how to get it done now. So I think that was the biggest factor. The other thing that I think has just helped this team throughout this 5-game winning streak is they're taking better shots. And the assist totals are up. That's a big factor. But talking to Steve Robinson when we were, I think, in Cincinnati, and I asked him, I said, why is the team, is it just assist? Is it movement, ball movement? He said, that's part of it. He says, but we're taking better shots for each individual. So each guy has now kind of figured out where his best place is to catch and shoot, or however you might. I mean, Jaden Bradley wasn't catching and shooting. He was driving to the basket.
Yeah.
And he's found that. And, Carter Bryant didn't miss a shot on the road trip. And I think it's just those learning factors now are helping them a lot. And they're just playing more cohesive basketball right now.
We're chatting with Brian Jeffries, the voice of the Wildcats. He's your Arizona insider for this Thursday, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light, choose chill. Brian, you mentioned Carter Bryant, and we just marvel at this young man's basketball knowledge every time we hear him talk. Have you had a chance to have an extended conversation with him, and kind of what are your feelings on the way that he speaks the game and understands the game at such a young age?
Yeah, and if anybody didn't get a chance to hear our pregame show on Tuesday, you can go back and find it on ArizonaWildcats.com because he was our pregame guest, and that's the first time I've had a chance to really sit down. We sat down at the hotel there in Morgantown and talked a bit, and then did an interview, and it ended up to be even longer than I expected, just because it was fascinating to hear him talk about, how much his family has helped him in terms of his basketball growth, and that's where he got it from. I think my question was, what I was trying to get to is, are there other guys that you have admired growing up playing basketball? And I think I triggered it by saying some known or unknown. And when I said unknown, then he started talking about, his family, his extended family, and how much involvement they've had in basketball and how much he learned from them. So that tells you a lot right there about where he comes from. And yes, he is a student of the game, and he will admit that readily. He really works hard in practice. He listens to the coaches. And all that's starting to show now. I mean, 14 games into his freshman season, and you can see why so many people knew that he had a chance to be, one of the best freshmen in the country. And it's looking that way more and more. So, yeah, it's just, and he's got it helps that you have those physical tools, which he does, and knows how to use them.
Chatting with Brian Jeffries, voice of the Wildcats. Brian, obviously, when you talk about this team and what's the way that this is going to move going forward, you look at Caleb Love, and he had been on such a nice streak of scoring. It didn't score as much on this trip, didn't shoot the ball all that particularly well. I think it was just 6 of 25 or something along those lines. In terms of his from the field, but they won both those games without him having to be the man. There's positives, there's negatives in there. Our question, I guess, we were talking about after the game, is that sustainable? Can they win a lot of games like that when he's not on?
Well, my opinion right now, David, as I looked at this team, and in particular these last two games, they used an 8-man rotation, and all 8 guys contributed in some way. And if you look at the box score, maybe you didn't see a lot of points from Tobe Owaka. But I tell you what, defensively, I thought he was really good at West Virginia. The matchups didn't favor him at Cincinnati, and we knew that going in. And so, again, the box score sometimes lies because unless you're actually watching the game and seeing what those guys are doing without the basketball in their hands, that's a lot of their value. And so I really think that the key to this team right now is they have a really solid 8-man rotation, and they're all contributing in different ways. And sometimes, KJ Lewis had a career game in Morgantown. Well, okay, so Caleb Love didn't. He scored in single digits, which he hasn't done very much this year. But the thing I like about Caleb is that I don't think he's forcing anything right now. I think he understands that there's a lot of other things that he can do, and he played really good defense against the Mountaineers as well. He had 8 rebounds on the trip, and so that's one of those hidden things that sometimes doesn't pop out at you because of his position and because he's the leading scorer, that he's willing to do other things. And I think that's really important. And I think that's, again, one of the reasons this team has won 5 in a row. And if they can keep that mentality going, then, that's what it's all about. It's a team game, and right now they're playing as a team.
Central Florida up next. Our old friend Johnny Dawkins from back in the Stanford days leading this program now. Do they look a lot from what you've seen, Brian, and from what you've watched? Do they look a lot like those Stanford teams that we saw when he was there?
Well, I think it was a different kind of personnel. I think he's running a lot of the same stuff. He's got 3 really solid guards. He's got a 7'2" kid, a shot blocker in the middle. And so now they got spanked pretty good at home by Kansas last week. And so sometimes you see that. But they've also they've beaten Texas A&M and Texas Tech this year. And that tells you, their ability. And last night they got off to a horrible start. They missed their first 10 shots from the field, and they figured out a way to beat Colorado in the end. So, yeah, they, like everybody else, they brought some transfers in, so they got some experience there. And Johnny Dawkins can coach. There's no doubt about that. So it's just another solid team out of the Big 12. And, the Wildcats can't rest on their laurels. They can't say, hey, we're 3-0, we're in first place. You've got to come every night, home or away. And so it's a different challenge in this game coming up on Saturday, but it's a Big 12 game, and I think everybody has to understand that. And I think the Arizona players understand that. They've seen now what Big 12 basketball is all about, and I think they understand that you've got to play your A game, or at least try to play your A game every night if you want to win.
All right, what's the best thing you ate in these 2 new locales? Did you sample some of that Skyline chili in Cincinnati?
Absolutely. Had Skyline chili, I think our second day there, and it was very good. I didn't understand. I think I'd had it years ago on a stopover there, but I didn't understand the whole menu thing and 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, and then of course you get your dog, and do you want so you have to. Everybody was doing both, so you're doing the chili and the dog. And, well, how do you want your dog? And I'm the poor waitress. She looked at me like, you're a rookie, buddy. So it took me a while to figure it out. But, it was, we had some good food there. And so, it's fun learning these new places. Cincinnati, we stayed right downtown. It's a, major
Thanks to Coors Light.
City. And so that was great. Morgantown, small town. I didn't get to really see Morgantown. The hotel was kind of on the outskirts, and like I said, there was you couldn't go anywhere because of the weather. So hopefully the next time we'll get to see more of the city.
Real quick, Brian, your thoughts. Danny Gonzalez promoted to defensive coordinator today. Joe Salavea coming back to the family to help out on that Arizona football defense.
Yeah, I was kind of rooting for Danny. I remember the first time that I met him this last year. And he's one of those guys where you look in the dictionary under football coach and there's his picture. I mean, and his experience, I just thought, this guy, you could just tell. He lives and breathes football. And so I'm really happy for him. I think it's a great choice. And Joe Salavea, all you have to do is look at his coaching resume now. And, I mean, he was a favorite at Arizona. And there's been several times before when I think there's been a little dance going on, like, hey, could we get him? And things just didn't work out. And so the timing couldn't be better to have him come back. And like I said, it's not just that he played at Arizona, it's what he's done as a coach since he left. That is the impressive thing that stands out. So this is not just bringing back another alumni like the guys that are on the staff already. These are talented coaches, and so I think it's great to have Joe back.
Brian, we always enjoy the chance to chat with you. It'll be the Coaches Show tonight coming up at the Union Public House. It'll be inside. We told the people at the top inside tonight because of the weather, so plenty of chance to come around and get some eats and hear the coach talk about some college basketball.
You know, after, 5 days where it never broke 30 degrees, I don't know why we have to be inside. I mean, this is balmy weather, so but we'll do it for everyone's sake.
There you go. Brian Jeffries, appreciate you, Brian.
All right, see ya. Thanks.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Choose chill.
Much more straight ahead. We're going to chat with Ken Hockamy as well coming up in this hour. We'll get you your first look at tonight's college football playoff as well. Notre Dame and Penn State. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This Saturday, catch Adia Barnes and the Cats as they take on Iowa State at McHale Center. Tip off at 2 p.m. with coverage starting at 1:45 with Derek Palmer. Don't miss it. Only on KTUC 1400. Bear down, Arizona.
Deep three is good, and the Cats are on top. Put up a three-pointer that'll count if it falls, and it's time. Do you believe in McHale magic? Every voice matters. Every roar matters. And when your Wildcats take the floor against top 25 Big 12 opponents, you make the difference. McHale Center is the place to be, and the time is now to experience the high-flying action of Arizona basketball. Don't wait and lock in your tickets today by calling 520-621-2287 or by visiting ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down. Go Cats.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
The New Year's Eve parties may be over, but at Oro Ford, the savings are worth celebrating. Get up to $12,000 off new 2024 Ford Expeditions, or save $10,000 off select new 2024 Ford F-150s. And Oro Ford is the only dealer with zero dealer add-ons and zero city sales tax. Just take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson to join the savings celebration at Oro Ford. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. You can now hear us on our free app from the app and Google Play Store, streaming on WildcatsRadio1290.com, iHeartRadio and Odyssey app, and even on 1290 AM. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month.
Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
Your home for in-depth conversation. Nation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Keep your New Year's car care resolutions and save right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a $12 gift card after rebate when you purchase 4 or more AC Delco Iridium spark plugs, or protect your engine with Prestone Universal Antifreeze and Coolant, only $16.99 a gallon. Talk to your professional parts people about your car care resolutions in store at O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 12th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in in-demand fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills and credentials you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions that are reported Valencia and Camino de Oeste in Valencia. We've got clearing Flowing Wells in Wetmore and Flowing Wells. Harrison and Broadway Boulevard and Harrison, traffic signals malfunctioning. Freeze warning overnight, 32 as our low, 57 sunny tomorrow, and a 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. College football playoff games going on tonight and tomorrow night. The semifinals. The first game coming up tonight, Notre Dame against Penn State. That game will kick off in just about 2 hours. It is the Orange Bowl, Capital One Orange Bowl. Both of these are bowl games. The other game between Texas and Ohio State is going to be the Cotton Bowl. Oh, happy there. You get Texas playing in Dallas. That's going to be a nice advantage for them, although Ohio State is a 6-point favorite in that game. The championship game will be 11 days from today. That'll be Monday, January 20th. A lot going on that day. You got Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 20th. You've got Inauguration Day, Monday, January 20th. And you've got the College Football National Championship, Monday, January the 20th. A lot happening on that third Monday in January. All right, it is time now. The moment you've all been waiting for, your BetQL plays of the day. Fred just gets a little bit excited when you talk about betting. This BetQL top play brought to you locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle.
I'm Ryan Horvath, here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Luck is on their side, and the numbers don't lie. The Fighting Irish are set to shut it down tonight. Notre Dame's defense is an unstoppable force in the college football playoff, locking opponents to just 62.5 rushing yards per game. Penn State, they'll have their hands full trying to break through this wall. Notre Dame, minus 120 is a 3-star best bet. I'm Ryan Horvath. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
The New Year's Eve parties may be over, but at Oro Ford, the savings are worth celebrating. Get up to $12,000 off new 2024 Ford Expeditions, or save $10,000 off select new 2024 Ford F-150s. And Oro Ford is the only dealer with 0 dealer add-ons and 0 city sales tax. Just take the easy drive from anywhere in Tucson to join the savings celebration at Oro Ford. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now, that is Notre Dame on the money line. Notre Dame on the money line. So that's the straight up taking Notre Dame to win this game over Penn State. At minus 114 is where it is right now over at the Desert Diamond Casino. So if you lay your $12.90 on Notre Dame on the money line, you're getting back $11.35 tonight on that particular ball game. Also, currently, we've got Ohio State, Texas. That's the game tomorrow. And the play there from BetQL is to take the under on that game. Even though it's going to be inside, take the under 53.5 in tomorrow's game on the BetQL big board. That's your top play for tomorrow's national semifinal. We finally got a win on the NBA side. We've taken a bunch of L's this week in the NBA. Suns, Sixers, we lost that one on Monday. Knicks, Magic, we lost that one on Monday. Tuesday night, we lost Pelicans, Wolves. We lost Lakers, Mavericks. We finally got a W last night. The Bucks, -5 over the Spurs. Milwaukee wins that game by 16, 121 to 105. That was the battle of Wemby and Giannis last night. Did you catch any of that game, J-Dub?
I was watching OKC Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even get a chance because I went to the women's game. I have it taped at home, but I got home last night, and I kind of was a little bit tired, so I didn't watch it last night.
I feel like our hour in 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. is a little tight, and I can't really get into it, but I would love to talk to you about it when we have some time. But great game, two great teams. I mean, Cleveland, ridiculous, and OKC, just two very different styles right now.
Yeah.
But what I heard about that Milwaukee game is that Giannis maybe took it upon himself to show Mr. Wembanyama what NBA defense is all about. So apparently, Giannis was playing playing playoff Game 7 type defense against Wemby last night.
Wow, that's awesome. Good to hear. All right, all of our top plays from BetQL Network are brought to you again locally by Oral Ford at 3950 West Highway 77 in Oracle. We're going to chat with Ken Acme from Pima Athletics. A lot changing on the junior college eligibility front. We'll get Ken's thoughts on that. DK on the sports tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Remember, you can hear all the action of Arizona men's basketball this season with Brian Jeffries on Amazon's Alexa by saying,
Alexa, play Wildcats Radio 1290.
The only place to hear Arizona men's basketball is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I can enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing for your next set of tires or automotive repair, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
You'll find an entire page of them online at jackfurriers.com. Savings on tires, oil changes, batteries, wheel alignments, and more.
So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, here to get you there.
Stay informed on all the latest news from McHale Center and Arizona men's basketball by following us on Twitter at Wildcats1290. When news breaks from Tommy Lloyd's team, we will bring it to you on Wildcats Radio 1290.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month.
Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. A lot of things going on. We've been talking about eligibility and whatnot and NIL on the Division I level, but there's some interesting changes that have taken place on the junior college level as well. We are pleased to be joined by the athletics director over at Pima College. His name is Ken Hockamy. He is also the baseball coach over there. And Ken, just to we appreciate you taking some time to join us today. So kind of people get an idea of what this is all about. When kids go to college out of high school, whether it's junior college or Division I college, if you're playing a sport, your clock kind of starts as soon as you start competition. And if you go to a JC, those are 2-year schools, so you play those 2 years. And then if you decide to transfer at that point to another school, you can have obviously another 2 to 3 years, depending on where you are and redshirting and all of that, to play at the Division I level. But over the holidays, and a lot of people might have missed this, that whole system is going away right now. So if I'm understanding it correctly, and you can kind of let us know, kids that now go to JC and play those 2 years won't necessarily lose those 2 years now athletically. They'll be able to go up to the next level and play the entire Division I calendar in terms of the 4 to 5 years that you would normally have. Is that correct? Do we have let's see if we've got Coach Hockamy there. Coach, can you hear me? All right, we don't have Coach Hockamy at the moment. We will work on that to see if we've got him and get him going for you. It is DK on the Sports Tip. The number to get on the program is 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Again, it's very interesting, this new rule as it relates to junior college athletes. Again, under the current rules, athletes are allowed to play 4 seasons during a 5-year period. This was extended to 6 years for athletes that had their careers impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Changing the NCAA eligibility rules from 4 years to 5 years is not a new idea, however, and that's something that they've been talking about, for a number of years. And now there's going to be this opportunity for junior college kids to be able to go and get that necessary training that they need, maybe to put themselves in a position to be a Division I athlete. And now they don't necessarily have to lose that eligibility. I believe we now have Coach Hockamy. Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm not sure what happened, but I can hear you now.
All right. Appreciate you joining us. So I'll reset the question that I asked, Coach, just to make sure that I have it correctly. In the way the current system works, obviously a kid comes to Pima College, he plays his 2 years, and then he has, 2 more years to play at either a Division I or Division II or wherever he goes on to the 4-year level, maybe a third year if he ends up redshirting when he first gets to that school. Now, under this new rule, kids are going to be able to come play their 2 years at Pima and then still go on and play an entire 4 years at the Division I or Division II level, correct?
Well, that's what's being proposed. Right now, what we have is 1 year. Next year, they made a ruling and basically said that anybody that has gone to junior college can play an extra year in Division I sports. So I think there's still some discussion on whether that's going to hold true as we move forward in the future. But as far as next year goes, yes, that is the ruling.
So right now you're saying an extra year. So that would be 2 at JC to play 3 at Division I?
Right. So basically what they're saying is if you go to junior college, that year that you spent or those 2 years that you spent, they're not gonna count. So, and right now it's just 1 year that they're allowing, 1 extra year. So again, there's so much discussion going on. It'll be determined probably, sometime later on this year what they decide to do moving forward and make a ruling on it.
Now, was this something that was kind of in the works? Had there been conversations? Because I hadn't heard anything about this until they dropped it in late December.
Yeah, I had heard nothing about it, and the funny thing is, this is a crazy story. So the kid, Diego Pavia, the quarterback at Vanderbilt, was a kid that I watched grow up when I was living in Albuquerque. He was an Albuquerque kid. He graduated high school with my daughter.
Wow.
Same year, and so I had watched Diego grow up when he was playing youth football there in Albuquerque, and then he goes to I kind of follow his career. He goes to NIMI, and then he goes to New Mexico State, and then he transfers to Vanderbilt. And all of a sudden he files a suit against the NCAA, basically saying that he deserves to have another year because of the way they interpret all these kids that are going to prep schools is they're not counting that as a year. So he basically, his argument was, hey, you know what? If you're not counting a year at a prep school, why would you count it at a junior college? And so the NCAA just didn't have any, I don't think they were prepared to answer those questions. And so that's kind of where we're at right now.
Imagine the NCAA not being prepared for something.
Yeah.
And Pavia also argued that he was unable to profit off of his NIL during the 2 seasons that he played junior college ball over at the New Mexico Military Institute. Obviously, that's a school we have, very familiar with because you guys played them in a number of different sports over there at Pima College as well. So is this good? Is this, what was the conversation you had with your athletes about this when it was announced? Or have you met with because I'm sure kids are probably been, starting to come back or haven't even gotten back. What conversations have you had with the kids about this?
Well, we haven't had any discussion with our kids yet, with the baseball players, because they're not back on campus yet. We start practice tomorrow, so that's going to be part of a meeting that we have before we practice and just kind of go over a little bit about what's going on, and just so they have an understanding of where they're at and what exactly is being told, so they know as they move forward.
We're chatting with Ken Hockamy. He is the athletics director up at Pima College, talking about this new rule that would allow junior college athletes to have an extra year of eligibility on the Division I level. It's just for this coming year, or the next year, actually, 25-26, so the next athletic academic cycle, which would begin with next fall and going into the spring of 2026, that this is in place right now. What do you think is going to happen, Ken? Do you think this would be? Do you think this is going to be something that is going to be made long term?
If I was to guess, I would say yes, and the reason why is just because of, it's all come to money now. Like you said, Diego, his argument was that he couldn't profit off of NIL and things like that. So, I think everything is going back to kids being able to make money, and so the NCAA is just kind of backing off, as you've seen. These kids are getting paid unbelievable amount of money to go play at different schools, and the transfer portal is a mess because kids are taking some money at this school, and then they decide, well, you know what, I can make money at another school if I do the same thing, so let me get in the portal and go somewhere else and make a little bit more money, and so it's just gotten out of hand, and the NCAA needs to figure it out. And I just don't know when that's going to happen. I'm concerned that this could be everlasting.
What's the feedback you've gotten from your coaches that you've talked to about this?
They don't like it. I mean, I don't think there's many coaches that really like having to deal with it, because now it's become, I have a lot of friends that are coaches at Division I schools and, high level programs and the different, big conferences, and a lot of their time is spent trying to make sure the kids have money. Instead of trying to recruit kids and coach them, they're trying to make sure that they have enough, NIL money to get good players to come to their program. And so, I was a recruiting coordinator for 14 years and at a Division I school, and I'll be honest with you, I would never want to go back and do anything like that because it's just, you're fighting the dollars, and somebody's going to outbid somebody else, and the smaller schools are going to develop players, and then they're going to go get paid at a bigger school, and it's just a crazy world right now.
The expanding of the scholarship availability for baseball at the NCAA Division I level and the expanding of the rosters as that respects to that, is that going to be good for JC kids now that there's going to be, more than, I guess, what was it, like 13 and a half scholarships or 11 and a half scholarships that you have to spread out over everybody that's on your team at Division I?
I think you're going to see junior college programs really benefit from the fact of, number one is the roster size. It used to be, hey, you could go out and you could bring in, 50 guys if you wanted it at a Division I school, and you could redshirt guys and hold on to them and things like that. And now, they changed the rule. So in baseball anyways, you're only going to have 34 roster spots at the end of, by next December, every Division I school is going to have to be at 34 players. So what that means is there's going to be a lot of really good players who were stuck on a Division I roster, probably weren't going to play all that much, but they were happy being there. Now they're going to be looking for other places to play. So, I think you're going to see the junior college level get better and better as far as the talent goes.
Yeah, well, then that's a positive for you, for sure. Have you even started like the on your side? Have you started looking at how to manage that and looking at kids that might fit into that role for you starting next year, or the year after?
Right now we're just doing everything as we normally would. We're recruiting players, the best players that we can, who are high school players, and in Tucson, Southern Arizona, and this area of the country, like we always do. But I think what you're going to have is at the end of the school year, there's going to be a lot of kids that are on Division I rosters where their coaches are going to go, hey, you know what? You need to go find another place to play. And so that's where, when summer comes around, we're going to see a lot of kids that are looking to transfer to go to junior college and things like that. And I'll be honest with you, it started already. We've got over the break, I've got 3 kids transferring from the University of Arizona and 1 kid from Grand Canyon, and it came down to a numbers game.
Right.
They were trying to start working on getting to that roster of 34, and instead of keeping these guys on the roster this year, it was better for them to go ahead and ask them to, hey, you know what, if you want to play, you should probably head out right now and go play at a junior college and get an opportunity to get on the field right away.
Wow, before we let you go, and we're chatting with the athletics director of Pima College, Ken Akame. Ken, great honor for the late Coach Rich Alday to be named to the APCA Hall of Fame class of 2025.
Yeah, I can't say enough about that guy. Coach Alday was, as you know, he was a very, very important person to me. Mm-hmm. He gave me an opportunity to be a coach at the Division I level when he was at New Mexico, and I've known, I knew Rich from when I was a little kid. Him and my dad, played together, and so I've known him for a long, long time, and as great of a coach Rich was, he was he was an even better person, just an unbelievable human who cared so much about people, and I owe a lot of my career to that person.
Coach, we appreciate your time. We'll talk to you here maybe in about a month or so and get a feel of what you got on the field.
Sounds good. I appreciate you guys.
Ken Akame, the head coach of the baseball team and the athletics director over at Pima College. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With some slowing at Ajo and Mission, southbound and westbound slowdowns. Collisions that are reported Valencia and Camino de Oeste. Flowing Wells and Wetmore. Harrison and Broadway Boulevard traffic signals malfunctioning. Freeze warning overnight, 32 is going to be our low, 57 sunny tomorrow, and a 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Sports fans in Tucson can't survive without 1290. In the fall, we bring you Arizona football, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Then 1290 brings you Arizona men's basketball, and in the spring, Arizona baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290. Can't find the Wildcats on your TV? Don't worry. We always have your back when it comes to the big game.
Oh my God, it is unbelievable.
You will never miss a game if you have your radio locked on 1290.
Such a good feeling to be a Wildcat.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Marco Polo.
Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark.
Plumber.
Right here.
Plumber.
Right here.
Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
The very best in play-by-play is on Tucson's best sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the home of the Wildcats and NFL play-by-play. This is the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona baseball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 of our short show today. We got you till 5 o'clock. It is the Tommy Lloyd Radio Show coming up at the top of the next hour from the Union Public House. Head on over there to hear from the head coach after the Wildcats swept the Appalachian Trail, beating Cincinnati and West Virginia. Brian getting some of that Skyline chili. It is very complicated. They actually opened up a Skyline place in Cleveland right before I left there, and I went by there a couple times.
Couldn't have gone over well.
Yeah. Well, you know, food is food.
It's like E.G.'s tried to go to Phoenix one time.
Oh, did they?
A while back.
Yeah, well, that didn't work out very well. Well,
there's just associations.
Philly cheesesteak places all over the country, you know?
But that's more of a food than like a city. Like, I think Philly cheesesteak to me is just a sandwich. And obviously it might have been born in Philadelphia, but I don't think of it exclusively as a Philadelphia thing. But yeah, I mean, Skyline Chili's, it's an in-state. In-state, all I'm saying is the in-state thing between Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
That's
absolutely. So I had to go there and check it out. And it was fine. I mean, I'm not a big chili dog kind of person. I mean, I'll have one occasionally. There's some lady at the, the arena, she's been passing out a few nice goodies to us occasionally at the games from time to time. And so I ate a lot of hot dogs when I was at the baseball realm of my life. And so I try to kind of stay away from too many hot dogs.
Don't you get ostracized if you're in broadcasting and baseball and you don't eat hot dogs?
Yeah, kind of.
You get shunned from the other broadcasters.
Now, I don't know if you've seen, follow our guy Francisco Romero, man, they eat like kings. I mean, it's not the days of eating hot dogs are over, man. And Francisco's always posting delicacies that they got at the ballpark in Houston.
I remember when, towards the tail end of Bonds' time in San Francisco and they opened up that new place, then that was the one where it was, sushi that you could get at your seat type of thing. And that was late 90s.
My wife always scoffs when I would go. They have that, if you go to spring training up in the valley, they've got, it's kind of like Italian noodles, Asian noodles kind of place that I really like because you can get like chicken and lo mein and that kind of thing. And she always scoffs when I get that. It's like, why are you eating chicken lo mein at a baseball game, kind of thing. So, but it's cool.
Because you can. I think the answer to that is because you can.
Because there's a place over there that's selling it. That's why.
Right. I mean, I grew up in the era of, who knows how long the nacho cheese has been in that warmer and stale chips. So that was what we got at ballpark. So,
my goodness.
I mean, it's a new era.
All right, again, it is the college football semifinals tonight. Game 1, Notre Dame and Penn State. Head on over to our Twitter account right now. You can vote in our poll who wins the game. Notre Dame, Penn State. I said Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's going to win the whole thing, to be quite honest with you. And right now, 90% of our voters are saying Notre Dame over Penn State tonight in the college football playoff semifinals. Would you have a pick in this one, J-Dub?
I don't know. Both those teams, I think, are playing really well. Notre Dame is a funky team, right? Because other than that one hiccup against a a team that they never should have lost to, and they've been fairly dominant. I mean, if you look at the scores, no team has been in a game with them since, Louisville, and that was 8 games ago. Okay, so it's been a minute, and Penn State looked really powerful in their last round. So I think now that it's down to the last 4 teams, it's really dependent on how their non-dominant side of the ball shows up. Like Texas, for instance, was dominant on defense. Their offense really couldn't do much. So I think the teams that their weaker side of the ball shows up is probably going to win these semifinal games.
We'll see how that all plays out tonight. And you've got the second game coming up tomorrow night, and that'll be Ohio State taking on Texas again. That's going to be the Cotton Bowl. and that'll be down in Dallas.
Is that weird to you that it's the 9th of January and we're talking about bowl games?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That part of it is definitely weird. For sure. Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl. No bowl game, just the championship on January 20th.
I mean, the only way this could have happened is to satisfy the old heads who wanted to keep with the tradition.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a baseball guy, DK. There's been conversations going on in baseball about keeping those traditions alive, and meanwhile, AL and NL don't play each other, right? And here we are, college football. I mean, it's always been about the bowls. How do you incorporate those bowls into this college football playoff expanded to 12 teams? Well, it's great. It's great to be able to continue those. But, I mean, those quote-unquote New Year's Day bowls, DK,
Right.
so much of that was the end of the holiday. Everybody's sitting on their couch watching games, and now that we're back
After
in the flow of the
drinking too much
work.
on New Year's
Yeah,
Eve.
I mean, now that the year has started, DK, I mean, people are back to their routines, and here we are doing bowls again.
That's why I would like, if you're going to take these 4 primary bowl games and just make those the semifinal game. Make those the quarterfinal games that were played around New Year's Day, and then create 2 new bowl games if you want to, for the semifinals. If you want to make them bowl games, or just create something that doesn't have the name of the Orange Bowl or the Cotton Bowl, I think you could assimilate those into the quarterfinals. Maybe dump down, but again, you've got the 4 games. What were they? I think the 4 semifinal games this year were Fiesta, and I think they're probably going to move those around from year to year. So there'll be years where the Rose Bowl is the semifinal.
Yeah, it rotates
and that kind of thing. So it's hard because you only got 4 quarterfinal games, so you can't satisfy the main 6 bowl games by doing them all on one weekend. So this is the best way to do it with the quarterfinals and the semifinals. Let's talk to Bill. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, how are you today?
Good, Bill. How are you?
Okay. Hey, my question is, why would it take so long to name Gonzalez the defensive coordinator? Do you think they were searching for somebody and nobody would take it, or they...
No, I think they did interviews, but I think he was clearly the front runner for me right from the get-go. I mean, it was very evident to me right from the time they announced the initial moves that he was probably going to be the favorite. I'm sure they talked to some other people, but once they decided, I mean, if they decided, they may have decided within the week around the same time they hired Daggy who it was going to be. And at that point, if it's a guy you already have, you don't have to announce it until you want to announce it at that point.
Well, don't you think it would make a difference, though, for kids that are getting in the portal to know who your coordinator is going to be?
Well, I think the kids might. I'm not saying the kids didn't know. I mean, if you're talking to kids, they might have been telling the kids exactly what was going on. Just because they don't tell us, what's going on, doesn't mean they're not telling the kids what was going on. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know if we ever asked a recruit that. Hey, when and I may do that next time we get in front of some kids that are going to be signing this year. Hey, when did you find out that he was going to be the coach? I don't know if they would tell you or not, but I'm sure that the kids are not in the dark about what's happening. I'm pretty sure about that.
Okay. Well, it's just so strange to me that the guy sitting in your office is the guy you picked, and it's been 6 weeks since the end of the season.
Yeah.
And you decided you were changing people, and there was nothing. I mean, you see all this stuff about who the candidates they're thinking about, and for every school in the country. And there was nothing about Arizona.
I would agree that I would maybe like a little bit more transparency than we get sometimes from Arizona athletics, but that's kind of the way it is.
But not even the athletics department. I mean, you see all the speculation that, a coach leaves and 5 minutes later there's something on the internet about here's the 5 guys that are, most likely to go. There wasn't anything like that. For the defensive coordinator, it just made me wonder if people weren't that interested.
That's
in the
not
job.
what
I hope not.
That's not what
I
I've heard. But I think if it was clear who it was going to be from the get go, then you might not have had a lot. Then you might not have had a lot of people interested, even talking to them about it.
All right.
It
well,
could have been something
hopefully,
as simple as there was somebody they were thinking about interviewing that was in the process of finishing their season as well. I mean, that's another aspect of it. And
and I was thinking that also. I mean, somebody that was in in the playoffs that they were hoping for. And
yeah, could be. I agree with DK, though. I think that those players going out who entered the portal, who were defensive players that they wanted to retain, any information that the U of A, that the football program had, I'm sure was shared with those individuals who are trying to make that decision. I don't know how many people they have to interview, DK. I mean, what are the rules with that these days?
Yeah,
the interviewing process. There's a whole thing for that. So, yeah, I agree though, Bill. I mean, I would like to hear. I hope the player. I believe the players were given the information. I understand what you're saying about that void, and it's been 6 weeks. The good news though is we know who it is going forward, and so do recruits. So that's the good news today.
Well, and the great news, I think, is Salavea. I mean, get somebody that not only was a player here, but a guy that was a player here when defense was defense. I mean, I know that people, a lot of people didn't like the defense from the standpoint of we scored, 6 points a game. It doesn't matter to me as long as the other team doesn't score more than 6 points. And, so, I mean, I'm excited that he's going to be here. I would have thought he might have been the defensive coordinator. I mean, he's been around, done a lot of stuff, been in big programs, but I'm happy that he's here. I hope that the defensive line can rip him up next year and we'll get back to decency. Unlike lots of people, I'm not ready to fire Brennan, but my sense is I don't think Fish left the cupboard as full as lots of people expected.
Yeah.
The problem is the timing of the window, right? So like Fish left, there was a 30-day-ish. The clock starts for the players who can transfer, and then Coach Brennan was hired, and any player that you were going to get in the portal after the fact, right? There was that small window.
Absolutely.
But any recruit that you could bring in, you were already 7 months behind on the process. 2 years and 7 months behind if we're talking about getting in the living room of a sophomore in high school. So yeah.
Right. But so many of these guys that, you see the nitwits that'll, he had these great expectations. But I'm not sure we didn't lose everybody. And I think because, Fifita and McMillan came back that people expected another 10-win season just because those two guys came back. But I don't think there was much depth, and particularly on both lines. There just wasn't much depth. I've gone to the games for 48 years as a season ticket holder, and I've watched some really horrible football and back in the day, I think these kids played really hard and they just were outmanned and
Bill,
hopefully we'll be able to turn it around.
That's awesome, Bill, to hear that you've been a season ticket holder for that long.
Yeah, 40-plus years of watching Arizona football. I would imagine a few of those years they lack depth on the offensive and defensive lines. I mean, getting into Texas.
Oh, absolutely.
Getting into Texas has always been the thing. Like those big body guys from Texas, Kelvin Efun's always talking about that, has been a struggle. But I think now that they're in the Big 12, there's a little bit more of that, I'd like my grandfather to be able to see me play type of thing. Going into some of those Texas towns might be a little easier to get some more depth because a lot of big guys roaming the sides of high schools down there.
I think that's always been Arizona's problem. I mean, you can have 22 guys that are pretty good, and that's it. And the guy that's behind you just isn't. It's not like going to Nebraska where they've got 185 guys sitting on the sideline that 100 of them could play someplace else.
Yeah, nowadays those 100 guys are going to play somewhere else.
Well, and I think that I do think that the scholarship limits are really making a difference. I would like to maybe squeeze it a little bit more so some of those kids aren't just sitting on the sidelines elsewhere.
How far away are we from mid-season free agency?
Oh, wow.
Well, who knows? I mean, what I've actually thought about this a little bit is what college football has become is it's free agency without a contract.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing in the NFL or playing in Major League Baseball, you have a 2-3 year contract. You have a 2 or 3 year contract. You can't come in, get a bunch of money and then 8-9 months later leave. I mean, they're planning around you for 2 years or 3 years, the NCAA has screwed itself so many ways and this is an example. But But anyhow, well, I appreciate your enlightening me about your thoughts for this, because it was just a surprise to me when I saw it today that Gonzalez was picked. Because, I mean, he's been sitting there. And if you really thought he was the guy, you should have said so, I think, 6, 8, 10 weeks ago.
Bill, next time we talk to Brent, I'll ask him just why it took so long.
All right, great. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate your
Take
call immensely. All right, 520-848-1290. That opens up a line for you. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With some slowing at Ajo and Mission, southbound and westbound slowdowns. Collisions that are reported Valencia and Camino de Oeste. Flowing Wells in Wetmore. Harrison and Broadway Boulevard traffic signals malfunctioning. Freeze warning overnight, 32 is going to be our low, 57 sunny tomorrow, and a 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Real football fans know that Tucson's home for football is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yes.
We are your home for the Wildcats and the NFL. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
The Zope Family Circus brings their old world Italian charm back to Tucson, January 10th through 26th. For the 14th year in a row, the legendary Old World Zope Family Circus returns, setting up their big top tent in the parking lot on the corner of Congress and Avenida del Convento in the Mercado District. For 178 years, the Zope Family Circus has enchanted audiences with wonder, magic, and humor. Make family memories that will last a lifetime. For tickets and more information on the Zope Family Circus, visit mercadodistrict.com/Zope. That's mercadodistrict.com/Zope, Zoppe.
And this Friday, we have a sweet deal for you from the Zope Family Circus. You can get an admission ticket for just $12.50. That's half off the original price. And this sweet deal goes on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month. Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can.
Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
And the Wildcats have won it. What a day at McHale Center. What's the best part of being at McHale Center live for Arizona basketball? Being right up against the action, witnessing history, and not only watching the game, but feeling that. Join the party because the place to be in Tucson is McHale Center with 15,000 of your closest Wildcat friends. Help your Wildcats protect home court and lock in your tickets today. Call 520-621-2287 or visit ArizonaWildcats.com. Bear down. Go Cats.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app. Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Eagles could have quarterback Jalen Hurts back just in time for their wild card matchup Sunday against the Packers. Hurts was back on the practice field Wednesday for the first time as a limited participant after suffering a concussion in Week 16. Meantime, Packers quarterback Jordan Love, who suffered an elbow injury in Week 18, also returned to practice Wednesday as a limited participant. Love saying after practice he has no more numbness in his hand, but does have some soreness in his throwing elbow and is hopeful to play against the Eagles on Sunday. Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers, who's dealing with a knee injury, is a long shot to play in Saturday's wildcard matchup against the Steelers, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. And Bill Belichick's career may not be over in the NFL just yet. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero is reporting multiple teams have inquired about whether Belichick would reconsider his move to college football, including Tom Brady and the Raiders. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Lowe's knows how to help make your Super Bowl 59 party a touchdown. Let us help you prep your home to host with top brands like Charbroil, Blackstone, and LG, so you can be the MVP of game day. Plus, use the Lowe's app to find what you need for a seamless shopping run. Or huddle up with our Lowe's Red Vest associates to help make all your game time hosting decisions.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Arizona women's basketball fell last night to the Baylor Bears at home. Wildcats now 2-2 in conference play. They have lost their 2 games at home. They have won their 2 games on the road. I don't think anybody else in conference play has done that so far this season. So far through the first 4 games of the women's basketball Big 12, you've got Kansas State and TCU at the top. No surprise there. TCU is ranked number 11. Kansas State is ranked number 12. Kansas State knocked off Utah. I'm sorry, they play... no, that was last night, but they just did not put a score down there on that particular game. We'll get you that score. But here are some of the other scores from last night's action in the Big 12. You had TCU beat Kansas 80-73. Oklahoma State over Cincinnati 64-48. West Virginia is ranked 17th. They blew out Texas Tech on the road 89-53. Iowa State, they will be here on Saturday. They started their week in Tempe and beat the Sun Devils 90-83. It was Colorado over Central Florida 81-62. BYU beat Houston 89-75. So your standings thus far look like this. Kansas State and TCU at the top 4-0. Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Baylor, Utah 3-1. Colorado, Arizona, Iowa State, Arizona State 2-2. Kansas, Texas Tech, BYU, Cincinnati 1-3. Central Florida and Houston 0-4 so far. Let's hear from the Arizona Wildcats. It was Adia Barnes and Jada Williams and Isis Bay last night after the loss to Baylor.
I'll start off by saying, Baylor's a really good team, and they played a really good game, but I'm proud of my team, the way they fought back. We had a large deficit. We couldn't find an answer at sometimes guarding their on-ball situations, especially in the third quarter. But then we fought. We stayed with it. We made some adjustments. They executed, and that group did a really good job together, staying cohesive, together, and they believed, and they did a great job of fighting, scratching, doing whatever they needed, even with foul trouble, and finding a way to come back in the game. I went down the stretch, executed last-second plays, and did a really good job, and gave ourselves a chance to win the game. So I'm proud of us.
Jada, if you could just describe the last few minutes of overtime, the 2 shots you tried to take to keep your team in it.
Yeah, I think I work on those shots. I'm confident in those shots. Last-second shots, I got to get it up there, so kind of just chucking it up there. But we played a hard game. I'm proud of my teammates. I'm proud of my youngins. They balled out tonight. Maylene and Lauren, they put up some really good minutes, and so I'm just proud of them. I'm proud of our fight, and those are going to fall, so we just got to keep working.
And we knew we were shorthanded today. We knew Montea was really important for this team. Montea's out. Katarina's out. So we knew we were shorthanded, especially that's 2 of our forwards. So it was important that Isis had to step up and play big, and she came out ready to play and focused and did everything that she was supposed to. Even made a last-second play that's a very hard play and did a great job. So she played her hearts out, but we just got to get a little bit more depth and figure out a way to win with the whole team.
Obviously not the result you guys wanted, but only 11 turnovers today, which I think is a season low. I could be wrong, but
absolutely.
Yeah. Just talk about what was working for you guys as far as keeping control of the ball today.
Just being confident. We work on handles. We work on passing, things like that. Just playing under control, trying to make the right pass, not trying to make the hard passes. And I think we just keep getting better with that each game.
When you look at our freshmen starting, Lauren, as a freshman, starting this game, playing almost 30 minutes, has 0 turnovers. And then you look at Mylene. Mylene had 1 turnover. So those are 2 freshmen starting against a veteran team. That's a better team. A better team right now, more depth, more experience, all seniors. And then they only had 1 turnover together. So that's remarkable. So credit to them.
Brea came out and had 4 quick points, and then it seemed like she wasn't getting the ball and didn't score again until way late. Yeah. What was the problem with getting her the ball?
Well, they were doing a really good job of congesting, so we don't want to force it. If she does a really good job. If she draws 2, then someone is open. So on the secondary action, we continue to score. So let's say we run a certain action for Brea. Then they're heavy on her, 2 on her. Well, what was open was off of the secondary action. Isis was wide open, and that's how she was scoring so much, and she was taking advantage of it. We told her before the game she had to be aggressive, and she did that. So that was good. She stepped up when they want to put a lot of attention to Brea, and it was good. I think down the stretch, what really hurt us was the offensive rebounds. So if you take away the offensive rebounds, we win the game. The Bugs came in and did a really good job in the second half, and they continued to have. There was 1 possession, I think they had 3 or 4 at one time. So those are the little things as a young team. They can't happen to win a game down the stretch, even in a possession ball game.
All right, that was Adia Barnes and the Wildcats a little bit after last night's game. You can hear that rest of that press conference up on our website, Wildcats Radio, 1290.com. Ladies back home on Saturday against Iowa State. That'll be a 2 o'clock tip-off at McHale Center. Doubleheader on Saturday. Men at 8, ladies at 2. Coverage on KTUC AM 1400 begins at 1:45 with Derek Palmer. Had a chance to talk to Derek a little bit after the game last night as he was coming out. Yeoman's duty, man. He drives all the way up to the Valley and back for these games. So that guy spends a lot of time on the road. So he's always listening to make sure those roads are clear. He says he's always listening when Cricket's on the air and making sure that he can get to McHale Center safely. Cricket.
Sir, yes.
Cricket doesn't have any tickets today. You haven't had a lot of tickets lately, Cricket. What's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the slump of the, end of last year, beginning of this year.
Are you hoarding the tickets?
Maybe.
Maybe she got a hole in her pocket.
You know who's coming to town Friday night?
Oh, yeah, your band.
Yachtly
Crew.
Yachtly Crew is coming to town on Friday night at the
exciting.
Rialto. Yeah, it's going to be fun. You should go. You like that kind of music or no?
It would be fun.
Yeah?
Sure. Whoops, sorry.
You should come down with. A bunch of us are going to be down there. You should come join us. Be a good time down there on Friday night listening to our favorite yacht rock band. But you do have a sweet deal.
I do.
Ooh.
This is a fun one. A fun, sweet deal tomorrow from the Zappe Family Circus. They're going to be at the Mercado District, January 10th through the 26th. And let me tell you, this is going to be the 14th year in a row that the Zappe Family Circus has been here in Tucson, returning. And by the way, it's a huge family operation, and they've been in business a long time together. The Zappe Family Circus has been together for 178 years, enchanting the crowds with their magic and humor and wonder. And our sweet deal tomorrow, half off. You can get an admission ticket for just $12.50 tomorrow to get you into the Zappe Family Circus, January 10th through the 26th. Tomorrow morning, 8:30 at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Now, have either of you been to the Zappe Family Circus? Have you seen it?
I have not. Have you?
Have you been, Jada?
I have not. No, they've been around for a while, right?
Yeah, it's been, I think this is 14th year now.
No,
14th year.
no.
They used to come and set up in Reed Park. Like, I'd be over there. That was one of my run. When I lived by Reed Park, I would run there, and they'd all of a sudden take over my running area because they put that plop down the big tent right in the middle of Reed Park. But the last few years, I think right before COVID or right around COVID, they moved to Mercado District. So now they're in that open entertainment area. They're over at the Mercado District. Yeah. It's real interesting. I mean, I went and think in 2021 was the year I went. That was when I was covering mostly news because there was no sports during the back end of the COVID and all of that. But they just got some unbelievable balance people that are a part of these circuses. I mean, women riding around on horses, standing up, riding around on two horses.
That's really cool.
Like one leg on one horse and one leg on another horse.
They're like athletes.
Yeah,
they really are.
Like riding around like that. And we talked, Dragon Ball and I talked about the contortionists the other day. Like,
that's cool.
Like all of these acrobatic women who are up high on these ropes and like threads and stuff and just like spinning around and upside down. I mean, it's unbelievable the athleticism that is involved in the circus. People think, oh, animals and all that, but there are some tremendous athletes.
Just more so like athletics.
And the clowns.
I was going to say, what is the ratio of clown to average circus? Because that style of circus tends to have a higher percentage of clowns in their group.
They've got it. I forget the main clown for their circus, but he is basically the star of the show. And he just goes around and he kind of is the ringmaster. They don't really have a ringmaster. It's the clown guy. Giovanni, that's his name.
Oh, cool.
Alberto Giovanni Sope is the main clown. And
he's like a fifth generation, I think is what I remember from that interview. Yeah.
So win your tickets with us or get your tickets with us, discounted tickets tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. over at WildcatsRadio1290.com. It starts tomorrow and goes for almost 2 weeks.
I have
2 weeks to see them.
I have a really quick update as well.
Yes.
Not for the Zappe Family Circus, but from another one of our TIR guests. I got a text today from Lara Leach, and believe it or not, Lights Up Festival of Illumination is going on for another weekend still.
Oh,
so
if
you're missing out on the Christmas lights, it's still going to be up at the Botanical Gardens this weekend.
There we go.
Yeah.
Through the 12th, I think it goes on. Or are they adding another week past the 12th? Because I think it was supposed to end next Tuesday.
I believe I think this is the last weekend.
Okay, the last week. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, get out to Lights Up the Illumination over at the Botanical Gardens as well. All right, Cricket, get us home. It's cold.
It is. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collision reported on Ina near Oracle. Heads up for that. Ina near Oracle. Anklam west of Greasewood clearing. Also some slowing. Ajo and Mission for southbound and westbound travel. Freeze warning tonight, 32. Our overnight low, 57 and sunny tomorrow, and a 51 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score deep discounts and deeper sleep during Mattress Firm's semi-annual sale and clearance. Take up to 60% off select mattresses and more. Plus, get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Shop today for free and fast delivery. Restrictions apply.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
It is the weekend. Woo!
Peach Mania and the Green Chili Roast tomorrow and Sunday.
Green chili, what? Wait, what?
Green Chili Roast. They'll roast up the green chilies for you.
I'll be there.
I know, right? You can buy like a 50-pound burlap sack
Nothing
of chilies.
smells better than green chilies roast.
So good, right?
I don't know what I'm doing yet for fun this weekend.
You're going to the mud pit.
I don't think I'm going to the mud pit.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Magic are a home dog. I'm Sammy P, here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The Timberwolves head to Orlando tonight. In Minnesota, a road favorite, -5.5. The BetQL model likes the home dog, Orlando, catching the points. BetQL Magic plus 5.5 is a 4-star best bet. I'm Sammy P. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
Playoff football is in the air, and Paramount Plus is your home to stream every NFL on CBS playoff game all the way through the AFC Championship. Log into Paramount Plus from any device and stream all the dramatic postseason action. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
You are never too old for a family. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is dedicated to finding forever families for children who have been waiting in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I could enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing for your next set of tires or automotive repair, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
You'll find an entire page of them online at jackfurriers.com. Savings on tires, oil changes, batteries, wheel alignments, and more.
So call ahead and make an appointment online or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Is Cialis Daily really better than Viagra?
If you like spontaneity, the answer is yes. So when the mood strikes, you're ready to go.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is definitely much happier.
When you take it, you're ready to go.
Does Cialis Daily last longer than Viagra?
Guys are raving that their results last even longer.
My partner thinks that I am a rock star.
Because it is effective, I say I'm on a second honeymoon.
It's literally life-changing.
Are 30-day sample packs available?
You can now access a 30-day sample pack at TryRexMD.com with generics at just $1 per tablet, if appropriate. Online approval at TryRexMD.com is simple, with medication delivered direct to your door. There's no copay, no doctor office visit, and your shipping is always free. Visit TryRexMD.com to get your sample pack. That's TryRexMD.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly. Carson Beck a few weeks back declared for the 2025 NFL Draft. Carson didn't have a good season this past year at Georgia, and I wouldn't draft him right now with the first-round pick. Well, today it came out that Beck is planning to enter the transfer portal, and many think he will return to college and play at Miami in 2025. And if that's the move Carson ultimately makes, then I think it's the right decision. I'm Zach Gelb.
Hey, Arizona, it's time for football at BetMGM. Take the field using promo code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, original bets, and the best daily promotions in the business. Plus, when you huddle up with BetMGM at your fingertips, every pass, every catch, and every game matter more than ever. Remember to use code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Football is back, Arizona sports fans. Don't miss out on any of the hard-hitting action. Place your moneyline prop and parlay bets with BetMGM today. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. Arizona only. New customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we're taking you right up to the Tommy Lloyd Radio Show coming up at 5 o'clock. That'll be live from the Union Public House. They'll be inside today due to the cooler temperatures outside, so no worries about that. And you can hear the head coach talk about the Wildcats. 2 wins on the road at West Virginia and Cincinnati over the weekend alongside Brian Jeffries. They'll talk about it from 5 to 6 tonight. Then 5:30 coming up, you've got the first game of the college football playoff semifinals. Number 6, Penn State. Number 7, Notre Dame. We've been talking about that game a little bit today here on the show. I am taking, and I said this several weeks ago, I think Notre Dame's the best team in this tournament, and I'm taking the Irish, which won't please our next guest because he is a Penn State man. And if you're looking for a place to watch the game, perhaps you'd like to go hang out with him and a bunch of Penn State fans over at the Frozen Cactus on Speedway. I used to hang out a lot at the Frozen Cactus when I lived over on that side of town. Back when it was, I forget what it was called before that. Back in the day before the bar spin people that came into town and spun it around anyway. Mike Walsh, he is the president of the PSU Alumni Association of Tucson, joins us now. Mike, are you ready for tonight?
Yeah, David, great to talk to you. Sorry to hear that you picked Notre Dame, so it might be a long night for you. But we still welcome you and any Notre Dame fans that want to join the Penn Staters at the Frozen Cactus.
So tell me,
we're excited for tonight.
It's funny because we always talk about Arizona and how there's so many people from other parts of the countries and so many different allegiances. I mean, I grew up in Ohio, so I come from an Ohio State family. I went to school in Los Angeles, so I have allegiances to my college as well. And it's fun that we have all these different allegiances here in Southern Arizona from different parts of the country. And how big is your club here?
So what's amazing, just to give you some numbers, Penn State has 700,000 living alumni across the U.S. We've got 1,200 alumni in Southern Arizona. And we usually draw between probably 30 to 50 people, fans a game to the Frozen Cactus. So it's quite a good group. And we're super excited about Rich McClellan and the team at the Frozen Cactus because he opens up early for us with our noontime games out east, which are 9 o'clock here. So it's a great spot.
So now I remember I actually did an interview with your club a few years ago when I was back on television. It was back during the whole Jerry Sandusky thing. We don't want to talk about any of that. But and you guys were at the Depot then. So how long have you been at Frozen Cactus now?
So this is our 3rd season at the Frozen Cactus. And once again, it's always a question of who will open up early for us, get those bartenders and those breakfast cooks in and ready to go for the 9 a.m. kickoff. So Rich's parents are from Western Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we met Rich. He's a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So he and I hit it off, and we were really excited for him to host us.
Now, you had to go down the Pittsburgh Steelers realm there, didn't you?
That's right.
Unfortunately, Dragon Ball is not here today. He's the Pittsburgh Steelers fan in our room here at the station, but he's not here. He would love to talk to you right now. I don't know. He doesn't follow J-Dub. I don't think Dragon Ball doesn't really follow Penn State though, does he?
I mean, he went to NAU and he's grew up here. So I think his allegiances as far as college go, I don't think there's a lot of Pennsylvania college.
RJ's Replay, that was the name. That's what it used to be called back when I would go there a lot at the Frozen Cactus. The thing I loved about the Frozen Cactus is that they'll basically put up whatever game you want. My wife and I used to go there and watch the Cavs games all the time, and they have this couch. They still have the couch there in the second room there, Mike.
They do. They do. They got a nice couch selection, a big table area for us. So, yeah, very comfortable. And a little outdoor spot, too, if it gets too hot inside.
Yeah, we used to go and sit on the couch there, and they would put up they put up the Indians games for us. We're from Cleveland, Mike, just so you know. That's why I scoffed at the Steelers, the whole Steeler thing there, because I'm a Browns fan.
So you're having, once again, you're an early golf season for you Browns fans, right?
Exactly. You know, we're not having any fun whatsoever. Right. What do you like about this Penn State team?
So, I mean, obviously defense is what's built our season, and we know Abdul Carter is going to show up. We just want to know how long he's going to be able to go tonight. But the defense has been strong traditionally, and they've had a great year.
So what kind of things does your club do on game days? Do you have raffles? Do you have like prizes and gifts and stuff and things that people that come to watch the games weekly can win?
We do. We have some giveaways. We have a couple things from back in State College, stickies and creamery ice cream that we give away. But our claim to fame is really push-ups. We do push-ups with each Penn State score. And so for those, especially those early season games, it's quite a workout, and we all are training constantly for push-up time.
So you guys might be the most buff alumni club in town.
we like to think we're pretty in shape, and the hiking in the hills around Tucson help us a lot.
There you go. So what brought you out here to Southern Arizona?
So what's interesting, my son, I have two boys. One just graduated from U of A back in May of last year. So he introduced us to Tucson. My wife and I are both Penn Staters. And I have another son, his twin brother, that just graduated from Texas. So we're hoping for a Texas-Penn State matchup next week for the finals.
Now, would you try to go to that game or?
So we went to the first game, in State College, 15 degrees against SMU.
Oh, wow.
And then we went to the Fiesta Bowl, much nicer temperature up there, and both obviously successful. So I think if we didn't get to Miami just due to work commitments, but I think if we can get through tonight, I think there might be a trip booked to Atlanta for the 20th.
So now it's interesting you brought that up because that's one of the things a lot of people have been talking about, just kind of you're asking fan bases to travel 3 to 4 weeks pretty much in a row with this new playoff system. Now, you went back for the first game. You got lucky on the second game because it was here in the state of Arizona. But just what was the dynamic of that? Were you going to go back regardless for that first game, or did that happen by chance? What was the dynamic of that?
Well, we also had the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis right before that. So we were all hedging. Some people were feeling confident about the first round or the second round. So I have friends that have gone to all, and I have some friends that are holding out for the finals. So but it is, it's starting to get expensive, the travel.
All right. Favorite all-time player at Penn State?
I've got to say probably LeVar Arrington.
Ooh, yes.
Just from an intimidating, linebacker he brought it every time he was on the field. So he exemplifies what being a Penn State football player is all about.
Now you graduated, if I remember, you graduated in 92?
92.
92. Yes. Okay. So when LeVar, was he during your time or after that?
He was after my time.
Okay.
But I was there during some Penn State Notre Dame battles. I remember my freshman year in '87, we shut down Tim Brown. He came in highly rated. It was a really cold day, as it gets in mid-November in State College. So, and then my senior year, there was we knocked off upset number one Notre Dame at Notre Dame, and I just remember some friends that were out at the Beaver Stadium and tore down the goalposts, even though our team was away that night.
So, Mike, I
battles against Notre Dame.
I haven't told you this yet, but I mentioned earlier that I went to college in California. That college I went to was the University of Southern California. Were you at the Rose Bowl in 2017?
I was not there. You're talking about Saquon, the Saquon Barkley show.
Yeah.
Which was interrupted by a great USC team. That was definitely a tough overtime loss for us.
Yeah. My wife and I, we drove overnight to go to that game from here. And I tell you, I've been to some Rose Bowls, but that by far was probably the best one I've ever been to.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah.
Super exciting game. We're good to get some revenge with you guys this year.
Yeah.
USC has been tough on Penn State over the years.
I'm a little down on my school now because they basically were the ones that initiated the breakup of our conference out here. So I'm still getting over that, but I don't know. I may eventually get over it, but I don't know. Hey, again, it's the Penn State Notre Dame game tonight. Frozen Cactus on Speedway. Great place to watch it with the Penn State Alumni Club. And again, it's a pretty big club here in town. I've seen them. I've been out to one of their events before. Mike, I appreciate you taking some time to join us. Best of luck tonight. You guys have a good time out there.
All right, David. Great talking to you. And we are Penn State.
There you go. I knew he was going to get that in there before we let him go.
Got to. BK got to.
We are Penn State. Mike Walsh, president of the PSU Alumni Association of Tucson. It's always fun. Again, we've got so many different clubs out here. It's always fun to hear from the fan bases from around the country.
Do not challenge them to an arm wrestling contest, though.
No, not at all. Not at all. Let's give you your Desert Diamond Casino replay for today.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi Machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries, joined us, and we just had to find out what this first road trip in the Big 12 was all about.
Weather was a problem for everybody back in the East. A bad storm, I think, as you know, went through the area back there. We got out of Cincinnati just in the nick of time on Sunday because they'd forecast the snow to start coming down about 10 in the morning, and sure enough, it started. And I think when we got to the airport, there was about a half inch or so, and then we left, and the conditions in West Virginia were much more favorable when we arrived. And then, of course, Cincinnati just got hammered the next day or so. So it was good to get out of there, and everything worked. I guess the only snag was the return trip on Tuesday night. We were scheduled to fly out, not in Morgantown, but a little town just south of there where we had landed. But that airport was closed, and so they sent our plane up to Pittsburgh, and it's a farther trek, but I'll give our bus driver a lot of credit. He got us there in plenty of time, and we got off the ground. So that was the snag travel-wise. The atmosphere, exactly what everyone had told us about, and that is the crowds were incredibly loud. They're intense. I mean, maybe every seat wasn't filled, but it felt like it just because of the noise factor that were in both arenas. And that's what the Big 12 is known for. And sure enough, at least in my mind, it didn't disappoint. And I love that. And I think the players, enjoy it to some aspect because it brings out the best of you. So, and you win both games, and that helps your, outlook on it. Had you lost one or two of those games, you might feel differently. But I think that Tommy had his guys very well prepared on the psychological side, knowing what they were going to walk into, and they responded. Even when they lost that lead at Cincinnati, they found a way to win. And then on Tuesday, I think they were really set to go on Tuesday. I could see that on Monday night that they were ready to play and played very well.
All right, what's the best thing you ate in these two new locales? Did you sample some of that Skyline chili in Cincinnati?
Absolutely. Had Skyline chili, I think our second day there, and it was very good. I didn't understand. I think I'd had it years ago on a stopover there, but I didn't understand the whole menu thing and 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, and then of course you get your dog, and do you want so you have to. Everybody was doing both, so you're doing the chili and the dog, And, well, how do you want your dog? And I'm the poor waitress. She looked at me like, you're a rookie, buddy. So it took me a while to figure it out, but it was, we had some good food there. And so, it's fun learning these new places. Cincinnati, we stayed right downtown. It's a, major
Thanks to Coors Light.
That was great. Morgantown, small town. I didn't get to really see Morgantown. The hotel was kind of on the outskirts, and like I said, you couldn't go anywhere because of the weather. So hopefully the next time we'll get to see more of the city.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right. We thank Brian Jeffries for joining us. We thank Mike Walsh from the Penn State Alumni Association of Tucson for joining us on today's show. And we thank Ken Hockamy, the athletics director of Pima Athletics, for joining us on today's show. Coming up next, it is the Tommy Lloyd Radio Show from the Union Public House in Tucson with Brian Jeffries. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock, DK on the Sports Tip. For J-Dub, Dragon Ball, and Cricket, my name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great evening.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Ina and Oracle and Ina, collision occurred at that intersection. Slowing at the intersection, though, mostly for westbound Ina as you approach Oracle. Also collision on I-10 near 6th Avenue on the westbound side of I-10. Approaching 6th Avenue, a stay right advisory to get you by. And your freeway backups on westbound I-10 between the Ajo-Kino connection to 6th Avenue. Freeze warning overnight, 32, our low 57, sunny tomorrow, and 51 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Well, it's the first part of a new year, and some people are coming up with some pretty interesting New Year's resolutions.
I'm taking karate classes.
Hey, wait just a minute.
Let's get something really stupid tattooed on our butt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why not make your New Year's resolution to always save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn? You'll not only save up to 40%, but there's also no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation.
I'm getting married to the first girl I meet. Hey there, sweetheart.
And you can save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Let's try parachuting. Geronimo!
So save up to 40%, save with no city or state sales tax, and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. But maybe skip the skydiving. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Tucson, remember, 1290 is the one and only home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. When you're listening to Brian Jeffries call the game, you're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
And that's why I always come up with the best ideas.
All right, you had a good idea last month.
Yep, people really loved getting a brand new Alaskan AC Grizzly with 12 months, no payments, and no interest.
Plus a 10-year guarantee on parts and labor.
It was a good idea, Gary.
Bet you can't pull another rabbit out of your pants.
Hat.
Bet I can. Bet you can't.
All right, settle down. Let's hear Gary's idea for this month.
Let's do it again.
Do it again? That's your idea?
Not good.
Not good? It's
brilliant.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Gross.
Give the people what they want.
Another month to get in on the best thing we do all year.
Folks can get the AC that was built for Arizona summers.
They can get it and make no payments until 2026.
And they're getting 10 years parts and labor covered.
Then it's settled. Alaskan AC is giving you another chance to get our exclusive made for Arizona air conditioner.
The Grizzly.
AlaskanAC.com.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you could win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
What's in a name? With Sweet Deals, everything you want at savings you never dreamt possible. No membership fees, no wait. And with the new Sweet Deals Premium tab, everyday deals on brands you know, names you want, savings you need. Sweet Deals Premium. Designer handbags, luxury cruises, accommodations, golf clubs, gift cards, autographed sports memorabilia. Find it all and save big at sweetdeals.com. Click the Premium tab. Shop, buy, save. Up to 70% off. Sweetdeals.com. Premium.
Hey, homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. You're listening to the flagship of Arizona Wildcats Athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Arizona Sports Enterprises and the University of Arizona proudly present the Tommy Lloyd Radio Show. Each week, the Cats head coach talks Wildcat basketball with the fans of Arizona. The Tommy Lloyd Show comes to you from Union Public House at the corner of Campbell and River in Tucson. Now, let's talk Wildcat basketball. With Coach Lloyd, here's your host, the voice of the Wildcats, Brian Jeffries.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Union Public House. It is time to talk Wildcat basketball. After a couple weeks off for the holiday break, we are back to continue our Thursday night visits with Tommy Lloyd through the end of the season. Just a quick note here. You're hearing us fine on the radio. They're still working on the speakers here in the restaurant. So, Coach, we can make fun of anybody that's in the restaurant, and they won't know that we're making fun of them.
There's a lot of things I want to say about Paul Volpe.
Yeah, I know you do. Well, but it is being recorded, so we can't because otherwise it'll get back to him at some point.
Right. Okay.
All right, we'll jump into it. First Big 12 road trip, and obviously a very successful one, getting 2 wins in 2 very difficult places to win against 2 very good basketball teams.
Yeah, it was great. I like how things are coming together. But when you're a coach, you're always worried about is there maybe there's a sense of fragility here and there, because games are going to be tough. But hey, I can't worry about that right now. I commend the guys for going on the road and giving an incredible effort. And we needed that. We needed that to kind of kickstart conference play. And our guys went into 2 tough environments and 2 teams that are ranked in the top 25. And